work in the dirt. You can keep your wings clean. I'll work in the dirt. You can keep your wings clean. I'll work in the dirt. You can keep your wings clean. I'll work in the dirt. We don't cope, we destroy. Motherfucker, move back.
Oh my god.
I'm trying to do.
I thought you could have catch AIDS once.
Let me get this and I'll be fucking on it.
No.
We'll do a start again in a minute. So,
That's all right.
I have to say,
Start the podcast back with the old shenanigans. It's all right.
I thought I managed it. I was like, right, so I'm going to empty the podcast, I'm going to take the dogs out. No, I tried to fuck the podcast. I fucked the upload. Everything's fucked.
So basically, it's Dean's fault.
The dog's dead on the floor. But he's dead. He doesn't know what's going on. Alice is stabbing herself in the fin. I don't know whether you know, but Alice is completely like allergic to opening anything correctly. I don't know whether you've noticed this, whether other vagina people do this too. So there's like a sachet, like a sauce or a seasoning. Yeah, it has a little thing, and you can like, is it that? Yeah, and, like open it. No. Alice uses a knife to stab into the centre of it and just kind of go, ah, and just hope for the best. Hope that most of it falls into the area where she needs it. I don't know why. I don't know why she does this. Also with the oats, she'll open the oats. You could like nick a corner. We've got scissors, you know, we live in a civilised civilization. Just snip a little corner and pour a little bit of oats in it. No, Alice, knife in the centre. Yeah. Now just pour like a little bit. So now, when I go to maybe put some more oats, I mean, that might be good for one, you know, if you're going to do one and then the rest of the oats in the bin. But so then I go to like put the oats into whatever, and obviously it just goes everywhere because it's been stabbed in the middle. And then I'm a cunt because I left the kitchen messy. I don't know, is that well, anyone else? No,
yeah, she's only learning from you, so.
No, mate, you don't know me. I'm a fucking meticulous corner cutter. Fucking everything there. Mate, I can literally tell you the order in which my cupboard is organised right now. Apart from all this
maybe
stabbing.
Maybe you're
dead hookers, lemon slices, chest prop.
Maybe you're that anal about it, is that she's rebelling and doing the opposite.
I think it is. She also, I don't know if any, you've been unfortunate enough to have a girlfriend who uses, well, wife now actually. Oh God, I really am fucked. To share supplements with these people. Because Alice's favourite trick is to put the lid on just a bit. Just a bit.
Oh,
just put it on a bit.
Yeah.
Just gonna put it on a bit. No, I don't know about you. I pick up the protein from the lid. So it's just a bit, just enough so that I can lift it high enough so that 100% success of it all going on the floor. I don't know why it is.
I fucking missed you.
There's no one else for that.
Such chaos in your brain.
It's just 100% right. So now, being married, because we're not allowed to bring it up now, so I must work on myself, because we were bound in the house of God. So I go, I check them first. I'm like, well, I will check it before I lift it up, and then I will avoid this problem.
What if you're in like a mad rush like you are today?
No, some things unnegotiable. This is like fuck the biscuit level marriage tips. Okay, so
this is probably why I'm twice divorced.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Dan, can we please set a camera up inside your house? We need to some of this on video. I just want to film this and play it all down YouTube.
I have before, like if the thing is stabbed in the centre, just thrown everything in the cupboard in the bin. And just be like, right, we're starting again.
It's like when your parents, when you're younger, like if you're not going to pick up your toys off the floor, they're going in the bin.
Yeah. Hasn't worked. There was just more stuff with holes in it. Different stuff.
Yeah. But half it's your stuff and your supplements.
I've got a suggestion, Dan.
No, not my stuff. My stuff's like, well, it's your problem. You shouldn't.
Get one of them resealable containers, the cereal ones.
Yeah, okay. Obviously, I have that. They're glass. There's 3 of them. One of them's for oats, and there's something else. Okay, but the packet with the centre stabbing, the packets I buy are bigger than the containers. So it's just fucking shanked the middle of them. Next time I go to replenish one of these containers, I'm still fucked. I've tried it, Johnny. I know you want to help, but I've already done it. I've already tried all these things, and there's only one way to fix it, and that's to kill her.
This reassures my position on the vagina people. This is why I'm 7 years living by myself.
Yeah.
You're just gonna have to go keto, so you got no oats.
That's actually probably not a bad idea. It would be less stressful. I'd have less cortisol. I'd probably be bigger.
Okay, now welcome back.
So yeah, she stabbed her hand doing the centralized stabbing thing, and now she's bleeding everywhere.
You have to pretend like you had some sympathy.
Well, no, but the thing is, I do the man thing, don't I? So I need to evaluate. I'm going to look at the wound. Maybe it's too deep. Maybe we need to do something about it. So I'm like, well, don't look. And obviously, I'm trying to get the blood just dry enough to open it and have a look how deep it is.
How good it is.
I was going to say how good it is. Is it life-threatening? Stay in this room.
Did you do a proper job?
Yeah. Is the femoral artery fully severed or not?
Maybe you should put all the knives away in a locked drawer and maybe just leave a pair of scissors out.
I've considered that at night.
So is she currently bleeding out, or are we good?
Well, I'm pretty sure I prized the wound open enough. But after telling her 9 times not to look, she looked, and then I'm a cunt. So I thought, you know what? Here's the tissue, and you'll be okay.
I just don't want to be accessory to murder, like if she's dying in the kitchen or something.
Is she still making any noise? Has she gone quiet?
Well, she stopped calling me a cunt, but I think that's only because she knows I'm recording.
Yeah. Well, or maybe she's dying, but same thing.
Dying schmine. They can do great things with science. I could have her frozen and then brought back to life just as I'm dying. Like when I'm like old, like, oh yeah, bring her back to life. Go, all right, remember me? Yeah, no. Just thought I'd do 5 minutes, remember the old times. Oh yeah, remember we're married? That's cool. Yeah, and they're like, yeah. And just have a little 5-minute grace period, and then she can go and stab someone else's oats.
Wow.
Yeah, they could stab her oats. Yeah. This was the topic, right?
Yeah, it's exactly that. The first topic was Dan shenanigans.
I want to say this just in case anyone's watching, that I love my wife very much.
Yeah, we believe you. Millions of other people wouldn't, but
I'd love her more if she was under my patio.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Anyway,
now that's been recorded, and that's on film, and she's bled out in the kitchen.
Edit out. I'm going to do a Ryan Crowley. Edit everything out.
No. I'm afraid.
I'm Ryan Crowley. Edit out. Edit everything out.
You have to send a slip.
I did go onto Ryan Crowley's thing to see how famous he still was.
Oh yeah.
I noticed that he hides the amount of people that likes his photos.
Can
you do that?
Only a penis does this. I don't want people to see that I have not had enough likes.
When you buy followers and then the likes don't add up, you have to buy likes as well. So if you're cheap to buy followers and not likes, then you have to hide them.
The thing is, the hiding of the likes supposedly does help the performance of your posts.
Really? Maybe it's been on a course.
Maybe.
They go on courses now, don't they? It's not enough to be a coach. I must teach other people how to also be a coach. And you will be coached by me to coach other people, then you will coach them. And then they will be coached, and one day they will move up, and they will be coaching the coaches so that they can coach others. And then we will live in a land of coaches. But who will be the head coach? Jesus, maybe. I don't know. I digress.
No, carry on.
You should announce yourself, coachable coaches.
I am coach, globe coach.
Coach.
You, Tran. You. You in Sainsbury's. You're probably all right. You've got enough problems. You just keep scanning. Keep scanning. Beep, beep, beep. Have a nice day. Fuck off.
So, without risking you going off on a tangent,
Hmm.
back to like actual maybe bodybuilding. How's that going? Since it's been a minute, how's that going, big man?
How's what?
Your bodybuilding, like the stuff.
Ah, yes,
that stuff. Yeah.
the lifting and the picking and the putting down. Well, I'm fat, but less fat than when I was fat. And then I'm going to go and do a segment where I get really not fat at all. And then I'm going to cry about how I liked it better when I was fat. And then after not being fat, I'm going to get fat again.
So, code for your own prep.
Not yet, 1 week. I thought about having a massive blowout. And then I just had a lie down instead.
What would a massive blowout even mean to you?
Well, no, but you get nostalgic, don't you? You're like, oh yeah, look, there's this thing coming up. Maybe I should get an eighth of Coke and go mental. I don't know. And then
that's a fucking terrible idea.
And then I just thought, oh, probably go to prison for like ever.
Yeah.
So
or die.
Oh no, that's impossible. Tried that. Tried that. Doesn't work. Try that on my stag do. Impossible. I'm now invincible on that level.
Well, ironically, now you mentioned that, my training partner, right, he was like one of those people that was taking a few too many drugs, partying, and he's had a few addiction problems over the years with other things like prescription drugs and what have you. He's cut all that. He started training. It's a really good story that he's, had a load of tissue on. He wants to bodybuild. Did his blood work, came back fucking perfect. I almost spat my fucking coffee out.
Everyone knows that one person that like lived on their street that drank from the moment that they wake up, yeah? Why did they live as long? They seem somehow they pickle themselves. Like, the little babies in jars. And then they just live forever to be viewed by all. They're just drinking forever. I swear there's a thing. So that's my plan after bodybuilding anyway. But Larry Wheels said that he's done loads of drugs, like crystal meth, and nothing's as bad as Tren.
Well,
did you see that post? He said, I've done loads of... Well, actually, just what I said. I don't really say it again.
Say it again.
No. And he said, nothing affected me more than Tren. And I just thought,
did he say that, or did Generation Iron say that?
Well, I can't remember who was interviewing it because that was it. I blocked it from my brain and I only just came back in just for this podcast and drugs, and that's what I came up with. So I think what he's saying is I should do crystal meth.
Yes.
It's better for you than Tren, so you might as well do it.
I mean, there's a few, like how often are you injecting Tren? How often are you doing meth? I think there's some variables he could have discussed, really.
You could probably put them in the same syringe.
That would probably be a problem.
You could make that into an experiment and do it factual, can't you? Whereas if you injected meth once in your life compared to injecting Tren every single day, a whole bottle, then yeah, Tren's going to be worse for you, isn't it?
But I've just figured out how I'm going to become coach of the world, and I think it's those two things in one.
Oh, yeah. Meth Tren.
Yeah.
Best coach.
Meth Tren shots.
Mate, because really, if you look at people that are on meth, they're not fat, are they?
Is that what methyl Tren is?
Someone beat you to it, Dan. Someone beat you to it.
Shit.
You'll get ripped, but your teeth will fall out.
Oh, crap, my hamstring, bastard.
See, that's the meth.
You bastard, that hurts. I can't even straighten my leg.
You need to put some sodium in.
Yeah, I've been sat here for fucking hour waiting for you to, you cunt.
Your electrolytes are all over the place.
That's my coach's fault.
Did you train legs today?
What's that?
You train legs today?
Yeah, hamstrings. Oh, fucking up. Dean, update, brother. How's things, pal? Apart from still taking loads of fit photos of kids.
Wow, you said that. This time we did superheroes. It was fucking awesome. We had live actors. We had the actual real Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Catwoman today. It was wicked.
That woman piqued my interest.
Oh my god, it was even she said like she was Wonder Woman. She was like, I don't want to be Catwoman in a kids' park. It's a little bit too much. But she covered herself.
No such thing.
But no, it's fun this time.
I'm still trying to picture. I'm still trying to process the description of the Christmas version. To be honest, now you've put Lycra in the situation. I just think the less I say, the better.
Thing is, Dan's got a lifetime of experiences. His experiences with photos of children and his birth book and Jimmy Savile and all that stuff. It's not a nice experience for him. So.
Jimmy Savile in my birth book. It's still there. They projected that at my wedding.
Yeah, I mean, it'll never leave, Dan, I'm afraid, because it does explain a lot. So those who are watching this, who want to understand Dan's chaos, because he got bummed by Jimmy Savile.
But at least I wasn't an ugly kid.
Oh, fucking hell. You must have been desperate that day. How's life outside of the photography then? Dean, how's the business going? How's the training going?
Same old, mate. Juggling everything. Legion's going good. We're doing the photography. We're now doing some recovery business in the background as well. So it's just non-stop.
What's recovery business?
Just cars.
He has a nap.
He has a nap. Yeah. Extra recovery from all the hard training.
Oh, a breakdown recovery.
Yeah. My friend's got a recovery truck service, so I'm just kind of manning the phone and managing that in the background. So it's all good, keeping us busy. Going to Mauritius again in just over a week. So I'm looking forward to that.
I went to Spain. It rained the whole time.
Oh, wow. Beautiful.
That rained.
So I left here in the sun and I touched down on honeymoon part 2. People might think, what a dick, how dare you have 2 honeymoons? But we could only go away for 3 days, so we kind of like split them. So anyway, we went for honeymoon part 2. And literally just arrived in the pouring rain. It was pissing down. And and here it was obviously amazing. So, I mean, I didn't really care because I don't tan very well, as you can tell. But Alice was furious. And there's no way that she was going to be that upset on her own. But no, it's all right. We ate some stuff or whatever. But yeah, the weather's here has been great, hasn't it? That's what people say. It's been great. The weather here is great. And I sit in a gym, try not to go in the weather. That's so great. That's my stance.
I'm the same. I'm like a fucking snowman. I melt. Not a fucking chance.
And I don't like eating. People are like, we ate in the sun. I don't like it. The sun is like baking. I don't like the feeling when I'm eating, which also raises my body temperature, and I'm just a sweating mess.
You know, I don't miss all these fucking problems. When I was pushing food and at my biggest, which was half the size of both of you, I couldn't do somehow, sweating fucking all day and night. You can't move. Appetite's gone. You can't eat. You can't do anything. Now, I enjoy this weather. It's blissful.
Well, that touches on my sort of catch up really since we last spoke. I did my last push up, which Dan obviously was the helm of.
The Nazi. You will.
So I peaked at the highest body weight I've ever been at and kind of held for quite some time.
Who was coaching you when you reached your second highest?
Probably you.
Yeah, me, yeah.
Yeah. So
out there. Hashtag blessed.
He does know to get people fucking well, not massive, but big.
So what did you weigh then at your biggest?
Morning weight over 300.
Evening 400.
It was like 310 or something in the evening. But so I've held most of that. We're on a little pullback now. But what I'm saying is essentially I had that whole experience that Dan talks about. The whole not being able to wipe your ass, having to wear, like I hated Crocs and people's thoughts of wearing Crocs, but now I like them because I don't have to put anything on my feet. Like the whole concept, it all makes complete sense now. And plus my next push starts imminently. And we're probably going to aim for a record body weight again, probably at the peak of summer. So I'm going to be an absolute mess.
So you're at this stage now, you're like, I can't do anything in life other than eat, a few hours sleep, and I struggle to do that, and train.
Well, I'm on. This is my 10th week. I'm TRT, so we've done it. Dropped. I think it's like £15. So I'm okay. I feel absolutely normal now, comfortable.
At a weight that you would have felt like shit at before. So I say.
Yeah. So ironically,
Sometimes you got to push up so that you can like stand. Like 290 for me now is like sound.
Yeah.
So what are you, Johnny? About 285?
Yeah. So my morning weight yesterday was 284.
Oh, you must feel light as a feather jumping around here.
Honestly, you say that jokingly, but I do, and it's mad because I never thought those words would come out of my mouth. I'm messaging Dan saying, "Dude, I feel small."
I could just see you in a little tutu bouncing around.
He's so fucking eager to like push again. I'm like, just chill. He's like, yeah, but I feel fine. And I was like, yeah, but your body might not. Like, I know it feels good.
I've got a syringe ready loaded up, and I'm like, I'm like, no, I'm like, oh.
It's got a little case, like just the first one.
Yes, smash in an emergency.
I'm looking forward to prep and summer safe.
Yeah. It works out quite well that way. Generally, I try to work with the climate if I can help it, but didn't quite work that out that way this time.
Also, if you hit prep, if you do a show in the summer, just find like backstage and stuff like so sweaty and the show's all hot. I went to the PCA Universe, which was actually very good, and it was just really hot, and I thought, well, imagine competing here. Just, when you're like pumping up and you're like, well, I better stop because my tan's going to run. And then some cunt goes, well, you haven't managed your water very well. Usually one of the tanners, oh yeah, I'm an expert on this thing. You haven't managed your tanners.
Yeah.
Shut up.
You only sweat if you're holding water.
Yeah, no, that's not actually a thing.
It's mostly due to the fact that you use Dream Tan a lot as well, don't you? So.
Well, I've had to come off that fucking entire bottles of stuff from Germany that I'm pretty sure is tarmac. So I reckon I've nailed it now. Fucking.
What do we think of that universe? I think that that guy who was who won the overall, who was actually in men's physique back last year, is a fucking genetic freak, isn't he? Alex something his name is.
It was a good show overall, and it was a packed audience. It was something I haven't seen in a very long time.
Yeah, he's going to go to the pro leagues, isn't he? That Alex, well, assuming he gets his gyno sorted.
Yeah, I mean, he just did a GPO show, and I was like, what? The guy with the beard, isn't it?
Yeah, he won the trip to America with him today, didn't he?
Yeah, I was like, oh, all right, that's weird, but yeah, the gyno was a lot. And then there's like a little bit like, and then there's like an actual like disc of breast. Yeah. So yeah, I think probably you'd have to go and like have that. He did the pro show afterwards. I think he came second, and some other guy won. Wasn't
Lucas Schlablableck.
Well, the annoying thing was, I don't know if you've ever been to Coventry, but fuck me, it's not very good. So I went back to go and check on the dogs, and there was some sort of crack party happening next door, which definitely was on the info in Airbnb. We got catfished horrifically. It was like, they were like, yeah, enclosed area for the dogs. It was like a 2x2 shit of gravel on the floor with a fence that Ron could climb under easily and get next door, and Abe could just run through any part of it at any time. So that wasn't a thing. So I went to go and leave him. I usually crate Abe as well. And I was like, I'm actually going to leave him out because I feel like someone might break in and try and steal, like, I don't know, some peanut butter or something, or a spoon to try and, I don't know. Like, and so I left him out, and I came back, and there was this fucking loads of people going in and out of this house, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm not. So yeah, I didn't actually see the pro show, which was a bit annoying. And then Alice came back and was like, we're not staying here. And she was like, I feel like I'm on Rich House, Poor House. And like, I was like, but yeah, I mean, Alice isn't actually from a nice area either. So that was saying something.
So basically, did you have to try and find another place?
Yeah, we went to Solihull in the end, which wasn't that far, which is like the kind of more rural, posher bit of Birmingham, as far as I could tell.
Solihull, it's very posh on there.
Yeah, it was pretty posh. We minced around. I went to a place called the Boston Tea Party.
Oh,
and all I know is that it cost me £50 to eat breakfast.
You should have went and crashed a crack den party and mixed your trend with the crack.
Don't get me wrong, there was a moment where I was
and
like,
needles.
that does sound fun. I quite like Speed Garage.
Well, it was a perfect opportunity to come up with your trend and your crystal meth.
Yeah. You could have took a needle full of Tren round, and I would have been fucking ecstatic that you got a needle that's only been used once and not 50,000 times. That'd have been all over that.
Yeah, just go first though. You know what I mean? It's like at an orgy, innit? You gotta go first. There's not...
Oh, really? No.
Unless you're into that kind of thing, just doesn't do it.
Yeah, what are you going to use for lube? Fucking hell.
You couldn't help yourself, could you?
Are we going to try? We were going to try and do something serious, weren't we?
Yeah. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to release it as a podcast, but I'm also going to separate some of these sections out. So we'll try and do them as, sections. Let me just pull it up, what we had. Try not to scream because I'm fucking cramped to fuck.
Donnie's doing the vegan thing, isn't it? When someone's vegan, but with training legs. Like, oh, my leg. Oh, God. Oh, do you train legs? I do, actually. Yeah, I train all the legs. Yeah, I don't know. Do you train legs? I train legs. Yeah, I'll train leg bump. Knee pump.
Fuck you, it actually hurts.
Actually really hurts. Don't know if you've ever trained legs.
I didn't mention that I was RDL in 300 today.
Oh, yeah. 9 pounds.
Right, so one thing I did want to discuss, which obviously we mentioned in the group, but I think it's prevalent because, we've all probably been affected by it, and it's a much bigger pandemic than I think people are letting it on to be, and it's obviously going to be an even bigger one the more people get into this industry as it fucking gets more popular, and that's the steroid addiction thing. So, fucking cramp. I was doing well then.
That's your steroid addiction now.
That's my steroid addiction, or lack thereof at this point in time. I think I'm going cold turkey. That's what's happening. I've got the withdrawals. So yeah, for me, I think fundamentally, the lack of knowledge by the health system that we've got, the ignorance by a lot of the NHS staff, the unwillingness to just acknowledge that people are using these things and giving people education on it. Some of the shit that's spewed out there by these people who are made famous by Instagram and what have you, who actually have no idea what they're talking about, giving out shit advice. And then just the sheer sort of pressure on people to keep up a certain image, and the feeling that people get from it. Maybe in some cases people are, masking even bigger problems.
Well, I mean that it's kind of like there isn't a physical addiction. That's there isn't an addictive substance in it itself. So but it's psychologically addictive.
It's a mental addiction, isn't it?
Like smoking weed. Smoking weed. Well, the research says it doesn't have an addictive property in itself. Lots of people smoke with tobacco, blah blah whatever. But obviously, if you get that first go, you get that first cycle, and you make some mad shit happen, you're like, wow. Like, say you go out for a night out, and you might put something in your nose, and you go, that was fucking cool, and then you spend the whole rest of your night trying to chase how cool the first one, which never happens, and then you're ringing everyone's mum at fucking 5:30 in the morning, going, let's get another bag.
It's funny because we've all been there.
But I mean, you said the depression thing. I think what people need to realize is that it is it's hormones, and hormones will affect your mood and will. So I think if you are prone to that sort of thing, it's just going to exacerbate it. It's like the roid rage thing, which people kind of got away from roid rage, didn't they? They were like, no, if you're a cunt, steroids make you a bigger cunt.
Yeah.
But I do think if you're prone to depression, I think steroids will make you more depressed.
Yeah.
I think it just exacerbates feelings that are already there. So you notice all the pros are really chilled. They've never seen a fucking microgram of cortisol in their life. You see, like Nick Walker's like morning video. Yeah, go and sit in this on this bench. It's just like a chair, just in his garden. He just stares at a bush, like drinking a coffee. He's like, yeah, and he's just like nothing can touch him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm just thinking of this more of on just a generalized population level, and I just think for me, fundamentally, it is a much bigger problem than it's being given credit for. Because it's all the keeping up the appearance thing as well. So this whole unattainable thing through social media, people thinking they've got to keep up with the Joneses, like that feeling that we go through when we right now for me in a sense that we're going through that period of not feeling like we're at our 100% best because we have a standard for ourselves. So like for example, my confidence in terms of if I walk down the beach now, I ain't gonna take my t-shirt off. Not a fucking chance. So, and then you've got some 12 stone soaking wet guy who's up to his eyeballs in Tren, walking around like he's the dog's bollocks. Do you know what I mean? And it all does tie in. It does. And I think having been there, experienced it, and had that feeling of, oh, do I really need to come off? I can only imagine what's really going on behind closed doors because I got a pretty strong character. And, I'm pretty good with my kids and stuff. I know I need to be healthy and safe. Well, as safe as I can be. Let's clarify that because there's no safe way of doing anabolic steroids. But yeah, I think there's a lot of unsaid stuff. And I think given that we are structured and we're bodybuilders and we compete, it allows us to maybe step away a little bit more than others, but others who are doing it for a social aspect. The guys I hear of in the gym, just like never coming off.
Yeah, the people that are doing the worst cycles are usually the ones that've got pretty average physiques. Like you could actually do what they're trying to do is they're out drugging the need to actually do any of the other stuff. Like they're like, well, I can just add this thing in, and then I can actually I can be a lot shitter on my diet. And then I could reach the potential of someone who's putting in a lot more work. I'll never really get properly high, but from a gym bro, I can reach what someone natural can do with like all the graft, like potentially by just going to the gym. Like
it's funny you say that, Dan, because I've heard some horror stories. I heard this one kid who was taking that fucking vile fat burner you can kill. He says DMT, is it?
DMT, yeah.
He was banging shitloads of that just off season so he could eat loads of burgers and crap and stay lean. And like you could potentially kill yourself on that. It's fucking vile shit. But that's the extent these people will do, just so because he's too lazy to diet or he wants to eat some shit food but stay lean. That's to me, that's craziness. He either just don't have the education, he has no idea how dangerous these products can be. And that's probably the case because I heard people in the gym saying, no, it's fine. As long as you get the right dose, it's fine. Yeah, but what if you don't get the right dose? What do you know who made that product? Do you know exactly how much is in that product? Because if they fucked up, you could be dead. It's a very fine line from getting the right dose and having an overdose, which could actually dehydrate you to death or give you brain damage. It's fucking crazy. So these drugs, I think, are a massive problem. And going back to the depression side of things, you're exactly right, Dan, is they fuck around with your hormones, obviously. And for guys, people think, oh, when your testosterone's high, you're angry, roid rage. That's not the case. For a guy, when his testosterone's higher, he feels great, he feels confident, he feels awesome. But when your testosterone goes too high, your body converts the estrogen as high. So when a guy's estrogen is high, that's when he gets moody as fuck. He gets hormonal. He start crying at a Disney movie or fucking angry at the smallest little thing. And that's where the rage comes in. And I think a lot of these drugs affect people differently because everybody's different to how it affects you and how you're aromatizing to different hormones in your body.
It also depends which Disney film it is, really.
Well, yeah, I mean, I cry.
Bambi's a solid cry any time of the year.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they all affect people in different ways, and different drugs are going to have a much harsher effect than others. And you usually find that the good bodybuilders actually give a shit about what they're doing, and they get regular blood checks and doctors watching everything that's going on. It's normally the amateurs and, like you said, the shit bodybuilders that are just banging all kinds of crap. They have no idea what it's doing to their body. So the massive hormone imbalancements, when they come off, obviously their natural levels are completely shut down. So they have a massive crash and go into depression. So half of the battle is they're taking too much and too much of the strong stuff. And then also put the drugs aside, most of their diets are shit, which the food you're eating is going to also have a massive effect on how you feel and the hormones in your body and how your body is repairing and making hormones. Like you've seen a bikini girl dieting for a show, and she has a lettuce leaf a day. And then you start to see her skin like she's been dead for 6 months, her hair falling out. And like, why do you think that is? It's because the nutrition is so terrible. They're not getting the nutrients their body needs. So what do you think's happened to the hormones? You need saturated fats. You need good fats to make hormones in your body. When you're dieting to the extremes and there's no fat in your diet whatsoever, you're not going to have any hormones. It's all going to be shot to fuck. So the diet alone is going to make you hormonal as fuck in it and down depressed, as well as the drugs. And then half of these people that are going into the gym in the first place, why are they going to the gym? Because they got fucking mental issues, or do you know what I mean, trauma in the past, or they've been bullied, all kinds of mental problems which got them into training in the first place. And the training was the best thing they did, but then they went onto the drug side of things, and their mental brains are now even more fucking mental. So that's my little take on it.
It might explain a lot about Dan, but for me, really, I think being a competitive bodybuilder, and given that obviously you're looking for progression to be better, and the benefits of coming off and keeping your health and going back on, generally as a rule of thumb, I think is enough to incentivize people to use them sensibly. For me, I think the pandemic is going to mostly come from how much association anabolic steroids have got with the social gym user now. Like, you go to my gym at the moment that I'm training at, I'd say 90% of them are on. You wouldn't know, but then
I was going to say, what percentage would even look like they train, the amount of gear they're taking. I get abuse all the time, so you just steroids, you cheat, you just steroids. I'm like, well, you could take all the gear in the fucking world and you're not going to look like me. Because half of them don't fucking eat properly. They don't train. They're getting pissed every week, and they're smacking twice as much gear than what I took in my biggest fucking taking period.
The craziest cycles that I've heard of and the craziest durations have always just been from people that go to the gym to basically, they're the same people going to Turkey to get teeth to basically smash birds on the weekend. Like,
and that's the thing, isn't it? And fundamentally, they tie that in with some of the mental health issues going on. Same with the people that have got addictive personalities. Some that are trying to keep up with the Joneses. All of this makes like for a fucking a shitstorm, really. I think in years to come, when you've got all this press about how fat people are putting pressure on the NHS and this, that, and the other, I think there will be an influx of people with negative effects from taking anabolic steroids in the next 10 to 20 years, because of the fact that there's people so casually abusing them.
Well, look at how many people this day and age now are on TRT and they're in their 20s, barely 30s. Like, okay, so if you're a bodybuilder, you're pushing gear and you are competing regular, then you can understand why people are doing cruises, TRTs, whatever, staying on gear to keep maintaining that muscle in between courses or to keep progressive. But the average gym goer bangs a course, goes on TRT because he feels like crap when he comes off. Like now, TRT, I think, is amazing for somebody who's got to the point in life that his testosterone is not going to come back. It will do wonders for them. But it's a last fucking resort, because obviously if your testosterone levels are shot and now you're taking TRT, it's not going to fucking come back, is it? It's going to make it even worse. So you have to stay on TRT then for the rest of your life to keep feeling that good.
Well, here's the thing, that we have the ability, and I've heard lots of people, I'm going to go on TRT because I want like a boost, or I felt down. It's like, well, did you go and get your bloods tested to see if actually they were low? Because what you could potentially do is maybe you had great testosterone. Maybe it was like 22. Like, and you were like, okay, so that's like high for like anyone. And then you went, well, I feel shit, I'm going to do a TRT and then get to the same. Because your natural test is going to then stop. You've then gone like high TRT, and the only thing you're getting is all the side effects that you never needed to do. So I think with this day and age where you can go get a health check, like a full panel for like 150 quid, it's totally inexcusable. Like back in the day, I mean, I didn't do TRT anyway. I used to come off for the first God knows how many years, and which probably wasn't the best idea, but those blood tests were like 800 quid. Like you'd have to go to like Bupa and stuff like that, even to see the fuckers, like 250 quid. Like it just, and your doctor was not giving them to you. That was not happening. You know, hey doctor, I want to like do some noise. Can you do something? And they're like, well, no, don't do them. So now you can go and do it off your own back for not a lot of money. If you're thinking about TRT because you feel shit, it's probably here.
Yeah.
You probably need to reevaluate. Now, if you go and do the blood test and your test levels, that's another story. Go in there and then take those to your doctor and you might get prescribed TRT. Wicked. Yeah, cool. Go and do that. But to not even look at it and just assume that doing TRT because there's some fucking Instagram post is mental. And loads of people are doing it. I just felt really shit and assumed that I should just, because I went to the gym once in '95, that I should do that. And they're doing it without even checking. And it's nuts.
What are they comparing their low testosterone to? Because they just banged 1,000+ milligrams of testosterone a week, and their fucking test is through the roof, and they're just like a horny little sex pest wanking 5 times a day. Then they come off gear, and it shuts down completely. Even if it does come back, and say it's high normal ranges, that's going to feel very low compared to banging 1,000, 2,000 milligram a week.
I'm talking about people that never used gear before.
Yeah, exactly. That. And that's the thing.
I'm saying I need TRT without gathering the information that's readily available to do that.
More so, they're like, I'm going to jump to TRT because my testosterone levels are low. Okay, let's look at your diet and your lifestyle. You eat absolute shit. There's no good fats in your diet. You're just pigging on pure crap and processed shit. You slob around. You don't train. You don't do anything to help to boost your testosterone, and you're doing everything to shut them down. So maybe we should look at boosting it naturally before we jump to the last resort and jump onto more drugs. Like I say, I am for TRT in the last resort. It's brilliant. But even small amounts of gear on a regular basis have to be regularly checked up because there's lots of side effects that come along with even a TRT long term.
You don't get something for nothing. You don't get something.
It's worth considering as well. So me and my training partner, whilst we were doing TRT, went for blood work. Mine came back in the perfect range. It came back above. It's, you know, people as well as how you metabolize it and stuff. But in reality as well, like so there's an even bigger rabbit hole, try not to go too far down. But as a generation, the newest generation, the most recent generation, it's the lowest testosterone level in males ever. So, and that's an even bigger thing then, obviously, because they're all soft as fuck now. But yeah, ultimately, if they were to go on the read-ins based, then they're all going to need TRT. It's going to be TRT for everyone.
Well, if you're going to do TRT, if you think you've got TRT, again, do what Dean says. Is there a way you can do it? The TRT actual injecting testosterone should be a last resort. And from there, you then need to test again because, like you said, everyone metabolizes that dose differently. I've seen people like from same lab, like sources, some doing 100 milligrams every 10 days, and someone has to do 300 milligrams every 10 days. Like, and to actually like come up with the same reading, everyone does come in differently. And again, it's ready available. Like, go and don't do a full panel. A hormone panel is like 40 quid, but they just can't be fucked. They're just like stabbing in the dark. And if you're looking for reasons that you're feeling shit and you haven't first thought about whether they're internal, you're already probably on the wrong path to some dangerous shit anyway.
Yeah. Look at your lifestyle. I mean, look at your sleep. Sleep's a massive factor into your health in general. People that get less than 6 hours sleep a night have testosterone less, 60 to 80% less than an average person who gets 8 hours plus sleep, unless you're down and you're taking testosterone. But that's how much the sleep alone can affect your hormone levels. And then look at, obviously, your diet. If you're eating shit and you're not eating anything to help your body produce hormones, that's going to be massively, probably another 60 to 80% that it could affect your testosterone levels, let alone all your hormone levels, all your vitamins, minerals, things like D3, zinc. Most people are deficient in D3, B12, B1 because their foods are so shit. Just being deficient in, say, D3 or zinc will massively lower your testosterone levels. There's so many things you could do to boost it naturally. Cold showers, fucking ice baths massively boost testosterone levels and hormones. If you're doing that shit every day.
Training.
Sorry?
Don't do them after training.
After training?
Don't do them after training.
Yeah, don't do. I was going to say leave it at least 6 hours after training because you want that inflammation or that blood flow going around. But you were like, if you're struggling, you're doing everything right. You've got a really clean diet. Try some ginseng, some tonkatali. These really help to boost things naturally. Like when I come off gear, cold turkey, get my bloods done in 6 weeks, no PCT, no nothing, off everything, and my testosterone levels are back into low normal ranges in 6 weeks. Why? They're like, well, you come off gear,
I think
put down completely.
generally, Odin, you're an exception to the rule there. Because generally, if people do a full cycle after 6 weeks, no PCT, no real assistance, and most of them are not willing to make lifestyle changes like you do.
Yeah, it's not just because I'm lucky. I mean, I probably do bounce back quite good, but it's because of my lifestyle and my diet.
Yeah, but in
and
some
what
cases,
I do.
you've got to consider that people don't have that option. You know, some people do have chaotic lifestyles, kids, and this, that, and the other. And you know, unfortunately, as humans, we'll always go for the easiest route, won't we? We'll always go for. So that's why I think a lot of people go, oh, well, I need to just go and do on some PRT. And you are right, there are certainly plenty of other more, you know, sort of holistic avenues that they can take. But,
I get that 100%, but whatever's top of your priority, you'll make time for. If your health is absolute priority, you will make time somehow in your day just to fit in these small little things. Like a fucking 20-second cold shower in the morning will help to boost testosterone level. You have a hot shower, and then at the end of it, flick it to freezing cold, even for 20 seconds, will make a huge difference. Small things like that, they even boost your immune system massively. Just instead of grabbing that shit food because you missed the meal and you're starving, prep the meals the day before, the night before, or even cook once a week and pack them in the freezer. It's just being prepared, isn't it? If you really prioritize, it's a priority in your life, you will find the time to do it.
The thing is that takes work, but saves time. If you actually prep once a week, it actually saves time. But there's the initial setup, which is boring.
Yeah.
But actually, it's like when the people are like, oh, I wanted to have what's the number one reason that someone will pick like a cheap meal or to eat shit? For ease, right? Even if you've got to order it on Deliveroo, if there's a Tupperware with the right thing to eat in your fridge, because you're lazy, you probably pick that. And so just set yourself up, know that you're a bit like that, and just set yourself up to take the easy option. If the easy option's in your fridge, hey, stitch and time saves fucking 9.
Yeah.
That's what I say to everyone who's struggling.
So
and if, I mean, not everybody can afford it, but there's always ways of making more money. But this day and age, again, like if you can afford it, just go to some of these prep companies. They're brilliant for eating clean foods.
Yes, some of them are.
If I had the money and I was still competing, I would certainly do that because it saves you so much fucking time.
So to avoid spending another half an hour.
Is that an actual spider in your hand?
Yes.
Oh. The only other thing I wanted to comment on is that I think, and you talk about libido is a huge driver for the addictive cycle. Like you have like men like in the 40s, 50s being like, oh, my sex drive's not too high. It's not supposed to be. Like you do you know what I mean? If you've gone through the cycles and like some of the drugs do make you fucking out there in the rapist department, like that shouldn't become that shouldn't become like a norm. Do you know what I mean? It's not like normal to like just spend like 9 hours a day wanking or whatever, like, or it to be like on your like, obviously we're dudes, think about stuff quite a lot, like, but people expecting, like, I think people do get addicted to that level of libido.
Have you got stretch marks on your forearms, Dan?
Oh mate, well, I broke my arm at a pivotal time, so I'm ambidextrous, so even if my arm gets tired,
Sit on your hand for long enough for it to go numb, and then it feels like something else.
I always sit on my hand with my fingers up my ass.
Oh my God.
Right. So what I'm
It's
going
called abseiling. They call it abseiling. You see that? It's called abseiling. You know, like you're abseiling. You're like, oh yeah,
it definitely ain't that big, Dan.
There we go.
Right. So let's draw a line on that one, just so I can separate these subjects and dish them out. But the next one, it does tie in. So it's like there's so much out there now in terms of supplement companies giving you health supplements, and you know, you could spend your monthly wages on supplements these days if you wanted to. So really, I want to give like your top 3 health supplements. Obviously, bypass the typical sort of proteins and stuff. What would be your top 3 health supplements? And I guess I'll go with you, Dean, because you can probably spare that off the top of your head, can't you?
But Dean's just going to take all of them. But okay.
Yeah, but that's the point.
There is so many, but I mean, I get as much as I possibly can from my food, and I have a massive diversity of plants. I try and get shellfish in, I get liver in, beef.
Well, you get like Chinese shellfish, and then like maybe some Indian chicken for the diversity.
Oh yeah, you got to get them all around the world.
Got to get
different bacteria. You got to get all the
racial diversity in vegetables.
But you know what I mean, like
not like disabled people. I didn't mean racial diversity in disabled people.
Oh, you have to go there.
You didn't have to clarify, but now it makes it sound like you did.
So like feel like oysters and liver, things like that, absolutely packed with nutrients, vitamins and minerals that your body really needs. Things like
vaping.
Because I have I do take a big stack of vitamins and minerals as well, just to top up. But I get pretty much everything through my foods. But for most people, they probably don't get enough omega-3, vitamin D3, maybe B12. I mean, bodybuilders probably getting a lot of B vitamins because they're eating a lot of meats, and especially if you're eating your red meats, you should be. But egg yolks, one of the best things you can eat to get everything. The only thing you're really getting vitamin D from is really good quality eggs, egg yolks, as in free-range pasta chickens.
Chickens,
pasteurized chickens, yeah, not
pasteurized chicken.
Pasteurized chicken. And wild salmon for fatty fish, not farm shit, not batch chickens. Animal products are so good and healthy for you as long as the animal is healthy. They can be very bad for you if the animal's pumped full of shit, basically. So the only way you're going to get enough omega-3s, vitamin D3, is by eating a lot of egg yolks. You chuck the yolk out and only eat the white, you've chucked all the goodness away. The actual egg white protein is shit compared to the protein in the egg yolk. Obviously, the whole of the egg combined together is like a perfect food. So egg yolks, lots of fatty fish. If you are lacking on these, then I would say supplement with D3, and I would recommend, people just don't take enough. You're going to be taking like close to 10,000 a day. I mean, if you're massively deficient, I would go to 20 or 30, even 40 until that gets to normal ranges, and then drop it down. But taking a 100 fucking IU of D3 a day isn't going to do shit. You know what I mean? That it's only quite cheap. You can source them cheap, so I would bang 1,000 to 10,000 milligram. Sorry,
it's the most common vitamin deficiency. We spend too long indoors.
Yeah, the problem is, especially in the UK, and if you do come from any country where it's quite hot, you're just not going to get. You get D3 from the sun, obviously, and you are not going to get it in this country only a couple of weeks of the year. So you need to be eating these good foods. If not, you need to be supplementing. So I go with D3. Secondly, omega-3, because statistics in America is like, if you've got your balance of omega-6 and omega-3 should be about a ratio 1-to-1 to be healthy. Too much omega-6 in your system is going to cause a lot of inflammation, and you get after a lot of bad oils and crap that they make. In America, most people is about omega-6 is about 25-to-1 omega-3. It's massively out of range. So it's so easy to get too much omega-6. It's hard to get enough omega-3.
Especially with a Western diet, like with omega-6, it's like when people are like, I bought omega-3, 6 or 9, I was like, well, I told you to buy omega-3s. Because in the diet, like the Western diet, you don't need to worry about the others. The one of them, 3 is the one that you're going to struggle.
Yeah, there's 3, 6, 7, 9. Don't even look at 6, 7, 9 because you guarantee you're getting them through your foods and plenty of them. And if you're eating takeouts and crap foods, which is packed full of oils, GMO oils and crappy vegetable oils, the process they do to them is just like poison in your body. Good oils like olive oil, macadamia oil, avocado oil, great. But even then, if you're packing too much of them into your diet, you need to be adding in extra omega-3. And again, where'd you get it from? Good egg yolks, good fatty fish. It's always the same foods. And always top it up with your vitamins. So your vitamin stack are 2 most important, D3, omega-3. And then for anybody that doesn't eat enough meat, maybe not the bodybuilders, especially if you are vegetarian or vegan, I would get some B complex, more B1 and B12, because you are just not going to get B12 through plants. And same as omega-3. If you're a vegetarian vegan, you're saying, well, I eat chia seeds and I eat some sea moss, I get loads of omega-3. No, you do not. You get the precursor of omega-3, and your body has to convert it to omega-3. And for your body to be able to convert enough of the precursor to omega-3, you'd probably have to eat a kilo of fucking chia seeds in one sitting
So
to
if
get
you're a
enough
vegan,
that your body needs.
if you're a vegan, what's your omega-3 options?
You got to supplement. It's
What
tough,
are you going
isn't
to what are you going to supplement with if it's vegan?
that's a problem. I mean, there are vegan-friendly supplements out there, but again, a lot of it is concentrated precursor made into omega-3. So you are looking at like sea moss, seaweed, a lot of sea minerals. Really, you get all the minerals and that from there. It's going to help. And fatty fish. That's pretty much it.
Vegan.
It's hard to get it.
Can't get vegan fatty fish.
But that's what I'm saying.
See what you're getting at, Dean.
Oh, what were you?
What I mean is, you're only getting it from like.
Well, the things that Dean said are like the 2 that I always say to like start with. I think people get too bogged down in like, I'm taking liver support. You weigh 4 stone, it's okay. Your liver's going to be okay. Also, like, but there are a lot of the supplements that combine a lot of things that I used to buy that had like a tiny, weeny little spoon, and they were very expensive, and you'd have to build your own stack. And we were considering doing that for you, Johnny. But actually, a lot of the stuff, like Support Max from Strong, combines in loads of amazing ingredients that would cost you definitely more if you bought them individually. And then actually, a lot of JP's stuff is good as well. I mean, there's lots of
top 3 outside of what, like, so if you're not going to pick any of Dean's ones, what's your top 3? You can use proprietary stuff like that, the stuff that's got all the different ingredients. See,
I just think unless you're doing something that you know is going to damage your internal organs, I just think like don't. Like
that's what I was going to say. I mean, some of these supplements, they're amazing, like the liver support, the heart one, all that. They're great. They're full of great herbs, vitamins, minerals that do help. But if you think that you're just going to bang shitloads of gear and really fuck with your health and put so much strain on your kidneys and livers, bang one of them and everything's okay, then you're fucked.
Yeah, that's a different.
It doesn't work like that. It
different
helps,
story, though, isn't it? So
yeah.
I think people do think that is a thing, that's actually gonna.
You are right. I think we've got to consider that 99% of people watching this are going to be bodybuilders.
I tell you what, through through all of my coaching experience, I've never seen a B12 deficiency. And I think there's a lot of pushing for B12 because it's actually relatively cheap for B12 injections. Come and get them, elevated mood, but I've still never seen one. It's actually
I've seen lots of always vegans or vegetarians. You're not going to get it bodybuilding because we're eating tons of meat.
no, but
Eggs and meat.
shall I do B12? Shall I get B12? Oh, there's someone doing B12 injections, and I'm like, look at your diet, mate. You're gonna be all right. Like, and I haven't anyone even just from on a high protein meat basis. Like, you don't need to worry about it.
Give me your top three then.
Huh?
Give me your top three health supplements.
See, but that's it. Like, Dean's took them.
Like if you took Dean's away,
So you're talking about combi ones?
you can do. It's whatever. So what else?
I like a sleep stack, something with like GABA in it. Like, I think Strom's got a lot of stuff right. I think like the Neuromax is really good. And then I think that Support Max, if you were gonna like go for an all-round kind of bodybuilder health sup alongside a vitamin and mineral complex, that would be like the next step. Yeah. And then I think, like, although it's quite basic, the JP does a heart one, yeah. and I think that one's good as well. I've advised that one. You can get like other like brands that do the same kind of combination, and it's not like a huge amount of like stuff in it, but I would say that's usually like the pathway. It's not going to clear up shit lipids. It might make it a little bit better, or get you a better starting point before you thrash the fuck out of it again. I think a lot of this is as well, people in between cycles, they spend a lot of time getting their like bloods in thing, and then it's actually like, a health phase. You're doing damage limitation for like the damage that you are going to do. And although I know a lot of people like saying like they're against that, and like, but that is going to happen. Like, you are going to pay for it. You are going to pay for doing huge cycles with large anabolic steroids, whether it be now or later. Yeah. It is going to pay. Don't get me wrong, like, it's probably better than smoking 20 Bensons or whatever, but like, do you know what I mean? But some people get away with it and some people don't. It's like the same as everything. You hear about fucking some people, my gran smoked like fucking 60 a day. And then you hear some guys never smoked in his life gets lung cancer. It's like, you do have to make these choices yourself, but obviously, like, you'd like to maximize your opportunity to like not have dissolved kidneys, which is probably kidney disease is probably one of the biggest dangers in bodybuilding, other than heart issues.
What do you think the main problem is with, say, stress on your kidneys in bodybuilding? What causes that, do you think?
Blood pressure.
And what would cause that?
It's your heart, it's your vascular system.
Yeah. So it's anything that, and some people obviously naturally have hypertension issues, but I guess outside of supplements, having a blood pressure machine and all that good stuff, managing that is going to go a long way towards keeping you healthy. But then there's understanding the catalysts to what is causing that. And like, we had obviously Victor Blackland, didn't we? And he talked about that in terms of, taking certain things that will assist that situation. But then again, that's another rabbit hole that we can go down.
Yeah. You could go back and view that, guys.
Yeah.
I think a lot of these supplements are great, but a lot are unnecessary if you had a healthy diet. And I think especially more amateur bodybuilders do not have a healthy diet. Far from it. They eat enough to grow. They concentrate on eating piles of food, tons of calories, proteins, carbs. Great, you're going to fucking build big muscle and get massive, but you're lacking everything your body needs to be healthy. And also massive amounts of carbs over years is going to put huge amounts of stress on mainly your pancreas, which is going to have an effect on your liver, your kidney, your gallbladder. And all four of those can spiral off to give you a shit ton of fucking problems. And that's just from carbs alone. So imagine pushing massive amounts of carbs for years as a bodybuilder, the amount of stress that's putting onto these areas into your body. And then you chuck in a load of drug mix in. And then these people are going recreational drugs, alcohol and shit on the weekends. how has their fucking body got a chance? I mean, it's amazing how the body survives.
I know it's amazing. It's amazing how Dan's still alive, really.
Well,
He is.
I only do one at a time.
We'll say like something as simple as getting more plants in your diet. So simple, like plants. You're like, fuck, who need the fucking plants? They're not going to build muscle, are they? They're not going to make you grow. But it's so important because your microbiome feeds off fiber, and you only get fiber from plants. So if you want a good bacteria, a good fibers in good microbiome in your stomach, you need to eat a good diversity of plants, because the main factor is when you eat these foods, you can't digest them. So the microbiome does digest them. It does us a favor. In return, they eat fiber. And then from that fiber, they produce short chain fatty acids, which is a kind of fat that, first of all, lowers insulin levels in the blood. So it will stabilize your blood sugar levels, which is going to have a massive effect on diabetes. Like so many people this day and age is pre-diabetic or giving themselves type 2 diabetes. And that's all from overeating or eating too many carbs mainly. But what they also do is get the inflammation out of the arteries. So it's one of the best things you can be taking for your heart health. So like I say, these supplements are amazing, but if you just ate a decent amount of vegetables every day, that'd probably do a lot better than having to take these supplements. So if you do get the more vegetables, put plants in, and take these supplements, then you are doing your body a massive favor.
Well, I mean, that's the thing.
Diseases.
They are supplements. They're to supplement on top. They're not.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be a replacement. The reason that they're made famous through bodybuilders is because maybe they need a helping hand. They need to be ingesting more than might be possible if your if your ratio is.
Well, imagine how much stress and strain you're putting on your body by smashing yourself up in the gym every day. You need twice as many nutrients.
One of the supplements I was going to mention really kind of sits with that. And outside of everything that's been mentioned for me is curcumin. So curcumin, which is
turmeric, curcumin,
more bioavailable version of turmeric and what have you, but with bioprene in it. Obviously, it's got other benefits. It's been proven to reverse cardiomyopathy and stuff, but it's also a natural sort of anti-inflammatory. So which is great in a certain aspect, especially when you've got any inflammation on the the system on the inside, not necessarily just your joints and stuff. And they did a lot of studies about how people who have diets rich in like turmeric and all that good stuff from those countries have got a lot less heart disease in those countries than we've got over here.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
Massively, yeah. Just a nice little top tip for you. If you take turmeric to get the curcumin, take it with a little bit of black pepper, and it helps you to absorb more of it. So
I think a lot of them come with it in it now, don't they? A lot of them, the formula. But yeah, I use curcumin. I got it on a repeat order from Amazon every month, and I do it every day without fail. But it's only because I did a bit of reading into it once, and it there was no reason to not take it. It was just like too good for me to, and it's been a staple ever since, really.
A lot of people as well. It's expensive, and it's expensive, and this one's even down to the protein powders. People want fudge anus flavor of protein. Oh, it tastes so good. I'll drink baby stick if it's got the real shit in it. Even just Amps Ultraflex. They always choose I can't remember which one it's called. It's got a million flavors. Birthday cake. Was it?
Perform. It's the
Perform. It's got but it's wank. But it tastes like blended babies. I love babies. And then Amp had his protein properly designed, no milk protein, real shit, and had curcumin and black pepper put in it as a flavor. And it's expensive. People are like, whoa there. I can have birthday cake flavor, and it's less. So
I think that's a massive problem, especially in the Western world, because it's just like eating out in restaurants or going anywhere, and it's fast food everywhere of shit. But you can't get healthy food anywhere. You're like, why? Because when they set them up, nobody fucking buys them. They're expensive and they're bland compared to eating all this shit food with sauce and crap. So people are just don't buy them, and then the places just can't afford to stay open. So why open a health restaurant when you can make 10 times more selling burgers and shit? It's a sad world we live in, but that's the reality of it, isn't it?
Bodybuilding's expensive, and I'm like, with everything, with fucking gear or protein or whatever, like, I'm not searching out the deals. I'm searching out the shit that I know is good. Like, and it even comes down to like to the protein powder. There is a difference in protein. Everyone's like, yeah, but protein's got 36. Well, how many of it is minced fucking cow's hooves that you can't actually digest? Like, do you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
But people are just, they're consumers, and it's difficult, and it's also like not their fault. We're designed now. Remember, Generation Z's come. They've had like social media and this level of target advertising, like subconscious advertising, like all the way through. We had a bit on like TV with the kids' toys that are like purposefully played before mum gets up to like be like, buy the thing, hassle your mum, and the kid's like there and he's like crying, but then they get the toy and they're like, yeah, mummy, 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 mummy. So then you go, mummy, 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 and then mummy like hits you and stuff and doesn't buy it. But like the incentive is there.
I like the 10-minute preview what was on the porn channels back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Used to time in just right for the 10 minutes.
Oh my god.
Mate, that was cable. See, like we only had Eurotrash, and then you try and have a wank over the good bit, and then it was like German male nudists, and you're like, oh damn, I've missed it, but I'm here anyway. I'm here anyway. Let's go.
What are you on about, Dan? That was the bit you were looking for.
Well, it's in reverse.
Oh shit.
Well, listen, gents, we've been like an hour and a half, and I think we run the risk of having a super long one on the return. So let's save the rest of the agenda for next one. But I think there's a lot in there that I can use and separate out as some separate bits. And what I am going to do is I'm going to use a bit more smarts this time round. Whereas before I was worried about not being able to post regular enough. I'm just going to get it all done in a one and schedule them for different days of the week so that we get in enough exposure. Hopefully that'll help with the views. We'll see.
Break them up into chat shit, this bit,
Dan's transferring.
And then as what, like at the end of it, do you have like the subscribe button and then the video that will carry on to, and then you select a...
It's all obviously in terms of our views and stuff, they haven't really gone up over the last sort of like year. If anything, they've gone marginally down.
So we have one in half of a year.
Well, I was looking into these little things as well. Do you know, like in the first 60 seconds of the video, if Dan says like certain trigger words, that pushes us down. And I say Dan because there's always fucking Dan. But if certain trigger words get mentioned in the first 60
I think you this time, Jimmy Savile.
No, I think I was a solid 5 minutes. I think I was a solid 5 minutes in.
I don't think Jimmy Savile's a key word for the, but yeah, don't mention the thing that happened where we all had to stay indoors is a good one.
Yeah.
Mm.
There's lots of stuff like things that rhyme with grape and all those things.
Yeah, that's probably up there.
Yeah.
Even if you click like don't mention like not for adults. Fucking hell. Right, it's bedtime.
Yeah. On that fucking bombshell, gents.
I'm gonna go and suck the liquid out of this, and then it's bedtime. Well, actually, I've got to take the dogs out. But yeah.
Right then, gents. We'll tie up next week. It's been emotional.
Yeah, good to catch you. Good to see you guys. Good to see you both still alive and looking fucking massive.
Not for long.
We weren't blessed with your joints and structure, Dean. We have to abuse ourselves to look big and like you.
Yeah, I'm gonna have an AIDS face soon enough, though. Give me 8 weeks.
AIDS face. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was gonna say that's pretty.
Not because I've got AIDS again.
I'm not gonna say it anyway.
All right, bye.